Hi everyone, number one Marmaduke fan here, and I'm looking at Alterna Comics Doppelganger issue 3 and 4. It was a little harder to get into this one jumping in at issue 3, so if you look for this, you might want to try to get issue 1 and 2. I'd recommend it. It's a 4 issue limited series, and the way they leave off, I feel like they're setting up another story because the ending isn't satisfying as an ending because it's a cliffhanger. Now, in some horror stories, there's like a creepy thing at the end, and that does feel like an ending because it has a horrific twist at the end. For this one, it just feels like there's going to be a part two at some point, and if there isn't a part two, that'll be a little disappointing. But this is kind of a fun, clever idea for sort of a horrific situation with a very kind of down to earth, almost Fred Flintstone esque type of main character, like a middle aged, overweight dad. So there's no like thing at the opening to tell you what happened in issues 1 and 2. So I kind of had to gather based on context. So essentially, a dad gets in a car accident and has a concussion, and he's haunted by a demon that looks like him. And whenever they're in the room together, if anyone sees them, they vaporize into dust. So you hop right into it, boom, and actually did a good job of conveying some of this stuff, some of these things through the dialogue. It just took me a few pages before I kind of put 2 and 2 together about what was going on. So pink shirt is the good dad, and blue shirt is the evil devil dad. And pretty much this guy's kind of a cuck, and blue demon dad is kind of a alpha male who really wants to make a lot of money and live comfortably. So sort of a story of the chubby, overweight beta male dad having to learn to fight for his life and fight and defend himself. I also like his friend, whatever this kid's name is, because this kid is sort of like his young neighbor and the family friend. He's encouraging the dad to stand up for himself and fight for what's his, not just roll over and play dead. So I think that's a good moral for a story like this, and it's kind of fun. Like they do, they allude to Home Alone, and then they literally like set up a whole bunch of weapons and gear, so this guy can take out his doppelganger. And there's some really tense situations where they can't be in the same room together rule applies, where his family's threatened because if the family walks in on him and the demon, then they will die. And he feels like a human character. Like if it was sort of this meek, tepid little Fred Flintstone type of character, he wouldn't be gung ho to just murder a guy right away. He'd wonder if there was another way, but then he gets manipulated by the demon, who is like two steps ahead of him because the demon's willing to be vicious to get what he wants. I don't like how the cover reuses almost the exact same concept. Silhouette, face, and profile, silhouette, face, and profile facing each other. Exact same silhouette, face, and profile with a dust effect. These are interesting variations on a concept, but that I don't know. I would have redrawn the face, or I would have done something a little different, show a little drama or a little anger or expression in the second one, maybe. So what I like is in 3, the hero fails. He fails to accomplish what he was trying to accomplish. And then in 4, he has to again be reminded that he needs to fight for what's his. And this kid acts as sort of the voice who's telling him to man up and not roll over and play dead. So I think that's pretty dope. There's a really clever twist that I don't want to spoil to how they figure out how to kill the demon. And it's their Hail Mary pass. It's a plan that has some steps to it, but actually kind of makes sense and is really kind of genuinely clever. And then it ends. I won't spoil the ending because it's just kind of a weird cliffhanger, not very satisfying ending. If it's the setup for a new series, that might be interesting because this is kind of an intriguing concept that maybe they could play with the concept with a few more ways. But it is almost kind of a little bit of fake news that you get into this 4 issue series, and then at the end, it's sort of like how in Sonic the Hedgehog, the cartoon ends with like 2 evil glowing eyes in the darkness, and that's it. They didn't renew it for another season. So I do recommend this. I enjoyed it enough that I actually would kind of be interested to see issues 1 and 2, and I would be interested to see how they use the concept in another story. So it's a horror concept without there are some deaths, but this isn't like a blood and guts horror concept. This is more like a terrifying premise and a average fuddy-duddy man kind of learning to become a real man and protect his family. So Doppelganger by Jordan Hart, art by Emmanuel Zirks Javier. I like Javier's style. It's sort of a very straightforward drawing style with just some shadow. So it's not like really sketchy or really Rembrandtian or anything, but I think it fits well with the horror vibe of everything, and just gives him like a real human fuddy-duddiness to him. So it's really solid Alterna book. I'm #1 Marmaduke fan. I love you guys, and I'll catch you later.